Speaking of solicitation, you want to know what would be crazy is if the history of solicitation would even be how I met the fucking guy. I met him from soliciting his services. That's how I met Aye Verb. Anybody remember their history? This is how I fucking met the guy.
You're interested in the verse, $75 verses from October 31st to November 3rd. Email Captain Marketable, CaptainMarketable,
Hold up,
Captain
hold up,
Marketable
hold up,
at
guys.
gmail.com, or you can hit me
All
on
right.
Twitter at a verb.
Let me pause that real quick before we get into this. What's up, guys? You're now tuned into Convos in the Cave. I'm your host, Mel, speaking. We are here. We are back. We ready. And I'm just fed up, man. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Remember, please, guys, click that like, comment, subscribe button on the way in. That's the only way we're going to grow on the road to 2,000 subscribers. And shout out to the subscribers, man. Shout out to all the subscribers, definitely all the new subscribers who's been, catching my videos on a short. I appreciate you guys. We here. Today's conversation is going to be ARP versus Verb. And I just feel like I have to have this conversation because no one is talking about this. So before we get into the video, what drove me to be, fed up with this whole debacle that's been going around with Hitman Holla, Aye Verb, and ARP. I want to address the culture. Since nobody want to do it, I want to address them. And I'll play some of this video and I'll stop it along the way, but I'll wait to the end of it so we can have some open conversations. But right now, I'm going to play you what drove me to this point, and I'm going to have little commentary here and there, so bear with me, guys. Again, you are now tuned into Convos in the Cave. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell. We are here. We back in the building. I'm just happy to be back, man. And I didn't want to talk about too much of the stuff that's been going on. So that's why I haven't been posting lately, because I feel like all content ain't good content. And I've been struggling with trying to figure out if I was going to even have a conversation. And this topic right here just drove me to the edge, man. And I'm going to speak my mind. But without further ado, we are listening to ARP expose Aye Verb. And I say that real lightly, Verb. So if you listening to this video, this is not to bash you. It's just the reality of the situation and what's been happening. And I just want to let the people hear my gripes, right? So here we go, man. Go ahead, ARP, continue.
It's of a lifetime. Whoever it is, I'm going to bang on one of you no-name niggas. Whichever one of you niggas want that casket, so when y'all want to see if it's real with me, I'm doing a special one person going to get an opportunity of a lifetime. Me and my brother knew it.
So, old video, still on the channel, didn't go anywhere. There's a lot of your spaces, there's a lot of your tweets, there's even your old Twitter. The at Aye Verb, I have a lot of that shit. The Twitter that you were suspended from before you started the Island God, I have a lot of it. I looked at some of it this morning. You have a lot of old interviews, blogs, spaces, tweets that contradict your whole life. Everything that you want to show the people you stand on, it's contradicted out there already.
All right, so guys, if you're not familiar with what's going on, Aye Verb been going at it with Hitman Holla. And for some odd reason, Aye Verb mentioned ARP in one of his rants, but it wasn't that, it didn't have any malice towards it, really. But whatever. I'm not gonna get into it. So this is ARP kind of firing back at Aye Verb, being that he mentioned his names. So as you can see, ARP is basically letting you guys know how much ammo he has against Aye Verb. So here he is airing Aye Verb out for probably like the third time. So yeah, that's just for the new listeners who's not familiar with what's been going on. So I'm just, giving you some context.
Dump trucks are just offloading to us. But I don't even need all that stuff. The stuff that I already remember and have, like videos like that. That's how I met you, buddy. I literally watched this video online like the rest of the world and said, he just jumped on camera and said, I will do a $75 verse for anybody that wants to do music, and I will do a $1,500 booking if anybody wants to book me for a one round versus an up and comer.
All right. So this footage is from like 2015, 2016. So ARP is exposing that, he was doing battles for the low, right? And to be honest, back then nobody was really getting the bag like that. So to do a verse for 1,500, for a one rounder for 1,500 is pretty accurate. It's pretty high at that time. I'm just giving y'all context, but as we go.
And then me and Shotha's over here saying we got this concept of blood, sweat, and tears before we even had a name of it. But the first card was called New Year Order. And that's where you get these blood, sweat, and tears type of matches for our first card ever. You get a Sway versus a Raw. You get a Aye Verb versus a Adi Boom. You get a Goods versus a Danger Zone. I saw this video and I said, shit, $1,500? And I'm over here working with Youngin. Adi Boom was, at the time, we're formulating this front line. You got Adi Boom, you got Show Off, you got Jim, you got Oops, you got Mr. Mills, you got this. You see what I'm saying? We're already formulating this little front line movement with RBE, with this different approach of blood, sweat, and tears, and mixing the tiers, up and comers versus top tier talent, right? And here goes a legend already that wants to battle an up and comer, and he's soliciting it for $1,500. Shit, I might have even do him a little extra on top of that. Let me take a look at something. Hold on. Let me see what he actually got paid for that. Oh, another contract. All right, let's go back to back days with contract.
So in this part of the video, he's trying to, show you that basically he facilitated Aye Verb for a short amount of paper, which back then I feel like it was reasonable. But here ARP is trying to downplay Verb's pricing based on, I don't know what narrative, but he's just trying to show you that he caught him for the low and gave him a little. It was so low that he gave him a little extra and he pulled up the contract. Just trying to, show how desperate Aye Verb is, which is kind of a low blow, but we'll get into that. Let's get it.
Talent booking, Aye Verb. Every contract that I bring up on screen is going to look different because my contracts have evolved for 12 years, literally. Like you saw yesterday, had a whole bunch of highlights in it. This one looks a little bit different. They just continue to, as you learn the game, as you learn the battlers, as you learn the surrounding factors, the other leagues and all type of shit, my contracts have continued to evolve. But this is a New Year Order, our first contract. Might put this on eBay. Who wants to buy an Aye Verb, the original? Damn, this could have been some NFT type shit. All right, Saturday, Sunday, within January 2014. Okay, battle rap show. He didn't get $1,500 from me. He actually got $2,000. He got a $500 bonus on top of his solicitation. Not bad, Verb. You must have did some decent negotiation. Either that or I threw it in extra just to make sure that I got a good performance, because I've done that with artists, including Aye Verb before as well. Down payment to the artist, $1,000. Not bad for the Adi Boom one rounder. Did he sign it? He did sign it. I'm just making sure. He signed it in November of 2013.
So guys, here's ARP pulling out contracts. Now, from Aye Verb recent rants, he's been in debates with Hitman Holla, and Hitman Holla went on a Twitter war and, exposed some of his contracts. And one of his contracts just kind of, gave a basic number of how much he's been getting paid per, event, which, he referenced Max Out 1, 2, and 3 and had like a $456,000 payment debited to his account. So Aye Verb went on and said, if you got paid that for Max Out 3, where's my cut? Because my contract said I needed 10% of that, and I haven't received 10% of that from ARP. So that's how ARP got into it. So here's ARP just, exposing contracts. You know what I mean? As a league owner, he's exposing people's contracts, and specifically Aye Verb's contract, right? So, this is just another case of him just exposing one of the Aye Verb contracts, trying to, show how Aye Verb is kind of a hypocrite, you know what I mean, or being contradictive in a lot of his rants. So that was that.
Cool. Solicitation. There's one more that I want to play, and then I want to get into a more important topic because Aye Verb did show me some ignorance yesterday. He is a very ignorant person, but there's a broader picture that I need to express on the channel. But let me get to this audio that I put on my Twitter this morning. Hold on. Let me show y'all, because I don't ever want to be the bluff artist. I like when I say things, people to actually believe me. Hold on. So one of the drives that I showed y'all the other day, right? I showed y'all 3 drives. This one right here, that is 14 terabytes, right? You see the box is empty, right? See it's empty. There's no drive in here because it's all the way over there plugged in, right? So this morning I plugged it in, and I said, let me just grab a little small smidget off the drive for today's stream. Just something small, something light, right? And I put it on my Twitter. What time did I post it? Let me share my Twitter so you guys can see. You guys can see my Twitter. I'm on it right now. Okay, hold on. Let me go on the big screen, right? If you go into the media section of my Twitter, here it is right here.
Like I told him yesterday.
Hold on.
Like I told him.
So
Pause.
just to give you guys
When
a
did I
little
post this?
visual.
See the date? Can y'all see this?
He's scrolling on his
Top.
computer on his laptop,
5:27 a.m. June 25th. I posted this morning.
pulling up old
I
footage
just wanted
of
to upload it
Verb
I
just
can
to
show y'all
expose him a little more,
on the stream.
which I
That's it.
feel.
That's it. Little light, 53
talk.
seconds. This AI that's gonna come. Watch. This AI audio fell in my hands somehow, at some point, and I just tossed it on the drive. I don't know. I don't remember how I came into possession of this audio.
Of course, you're not gonna remember
Right.
how.
But I only snipped out 53 seconds of it. I could have swore when I looked at the file,
Get to the point,
it was about
ARP.
48 minutes
Get to
long.
the point.
48. I don't remember how I fell into possession of it. Plus, I think it's AI. Even though I don't know if AI was really around back in the time of what he's saying here. But I wanted to snip out 53 seconds of a 48-minute file just so I could see what's going on.
Come on, man.
Like I told him yesterday, and I called him back and I told him, you're not gonna take the iron match from me. It's just, it ain't gonna happen. Of course, tempers flying. See what I was saying was, okay, here go the thing. The thing is, like, and I thought personally, it ain't, because they want to buy the match from me, and
What?
I'm not on that. I'm not saying, yo, here, that's not what I'm on. You know what I'm saying? Okay, for some reason, they want Iron and Verb. That's a fact. Behind me and Lux. You know what I'm saying? So, what I told them respectfully was, I'm not gonna take Iron on your stage if and take it off dude's stage. That I'm not gonna do. You know what I'm saying?
That would be good business in
So,
a way,
Yeah,
right?
that would make them liable.
like I told them yesterday, and I called them back and I told them,
What ARP
Let's
said?
pause it. You see when I said at the end, that would make them liable, right? That is spooky. I played it earlier, and there was also a piece where Aye Verb says, they offered me double of what you paid me. There's 2 things I want to mention here.
Hold on, man.
Number 1.
Hold on. It's funny that ARP just cut the video short when he started talking, because apparently what he just played, guys, he played a conversation between him and Aye Verb and ARP, that they were having discussing the business dealings that Aye Verb had with URL. Being that they are in a suit, a live suit at the moment, or prior to this battle happening, they were in a live suit with ARP versus, well, RBE versus URL. So Aye Verb was just stressing that he said he don't want to mix the two battles, you know what I mean, because he just don't want to do it to URL and RBE, which is noble. So ARP response to that was, well, if they did offer you to buy the battle, that would make them liable. But then ARP cut it off, and now he's talking. So I'm guessing he didn't want us to hear what he had to say towards towards Aye Verb, but he wanted everybody to know that Aye Verb is kind of backstabbing URL by having this conversation with him. It's crazy. The narrative is crazy.
Is it possible that this audio also reflects a conversation around Drake? Or was that the day before?
I like how ARP's try to
You just
flip
gotta
that.
shake up the cage and let people know, I'm not the bluff guy. That's you. I'm not trying to scare you off the mound. React, do, say, front, lie, act as you choose. I told you got the right one based on how you have carried yourself. And I've always known who I was dealing with. Always. Always known who I was dealing with. Even as we continue to do business. Once you show me who you are, I move accordingly. They don't call me a wolf in sheep's clothing for nothing.
A wolf in sheep's clothing. Pause. All right. That's not pause. I just paused the video. All right. I'm in that video right there. Now, here's what I have to say, ARP, and this is a quick conversation for you, all right? This don't have anything to do with Hitman Holla, because Hitman Holla is going to defend himself once you're being attacked, you as a man, you're going to defend yourself in the battle rap culture. And if it's in the culture, let it stay in the culture. And if they choose to battle for a second time, that's their prerogative. They create a backstory to get money, right? That's that. Now, ARP, I looked at you as a person, a businessman, a business owner, and I held you in the same stratosphere as URL, right? Smack, the Beasleys, all the other league owners. I held you up here. But being that you're actually on camera trying to expose a fellow battle rapper who I look at as less than you, because you're the business owner, you're the man that has to show up with professionalism, courtesy at all times. But here you are scooping as low as to where Verb goes when he goes on his rants and trying to expose him. I look at you as a different person, bro. I don't see you as that high caliber guy no more. We know if anybody is put here to expose a battle rapper, it can definitely be league owners. But ARP, you're not low, bro. We know that you got the footage. We know that you got the information. We know that you got the records and the paperwork to prove everything you're saying. But we also know that battle rappers go through struggles and battle rappers have to make money. And they may have, in the last 20 to 15 years, had to take some low balls. We know that they go through that. This is not nothing new. So you trying to expose Verb just make you look like a clown because you're a league owner trying to expose a battler who works for you. You're trying to expose somebody who works for you. That's like me going to work, right? And I'm a struggling working man. And I go to my job and I ask them for a bonus or an early bonus because I ain't got it right now. And I ask them for a cool 2 bands and I pay them back next check. And they go, yeah. But then we get into it and they try to expose me. Look, you asked me for $2,000 10 years ago. I'm not gonna look at that business owner and be like, "Oh, Mel is a bum," because he asked his owners, his superiors for two bands because he was struggling. No, ARP, it don't work like that. So you stooping down to Verb's level and trying to expose him every single day by putting up some type of paperwork that contradicts a lot of what he's saying, it does not make you look good, bro. And to be honest, I think that you stepped off away from battle rap just so you can do things like this. Just so you can have a word, have a say so on your under your own blocks to combat a lot of these battle rappers who clearly be doing stuff for promotion. But you just can't, as a man, you just can't let it go. You can't be the bigger person. It just shows that you can't be the bigger person, ARP. And I look and when you look at Smack and Beasley, you got to take something from them and move accordingly, because those guys are the faces of this battle rap culture, and they are held at a high standard, and they always maintain their celebrity and their professionalism at all costs. Even when people go low on them, they still maintain that integrity. But you can't help it. You gave up your whole league just to do petty stuff like this. And I see through you. You may have some valid points with Aye Verb. Granted. But that doesn't make you the better man, brother. Just because it's true, that doesn't make you the better man, bro. It just makes you look like you're one of them. One of them low-class, unprofessional type of people. You're exposing contracts. You're exposing monies being validated to these battle rappers. You trying to make them look bad based on your paperwork that you have documentation of. Bro, stop, man. Continue to be held at that high pedestal, man. Continue to be the bigger man. That's what I thought you were. You know what I mean? But clearly you're not. And I'm in that video right there, man. Yo, listen, man, if you guys like the video, hit me up in the comments. If you guys think what I'm saying is true, or you disagree with what I'm saying, hit me up in the comments. Talk to me. I'll talk back, man. That's the only way we gonna grow, man. Convos in the Cave, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit me up in the comments, and we talk, man. I'm out.